It's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo. Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Collins!
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Changing chairs. We got Christian Cat helping us out behind the glass. No Mike Rizzo on sabbatical up in Cleveland, enjoying the week off. Colin
Yucking it up
Russo.
with Bernie Kosar.
I did see that. At Browns training camp. I couldn't imagine a place I'd like to go less than a Browns training camp, to be honest with you. But that's just me. Can't complain too much about that. Trade deadline in MLB going on right now. It closes at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so we're going to keep you all updated in terms of what major moves are going to be done. Of course, we saw Mason Miller traded from the Athletics to the San Diego Padres a little earlier today in exchange for Leo DeVries, who is the third overall prospect in baseball, amongst other prospects. The Yankees go get David Bednar, the closer from the Pittsburgh Pirates. So they're going to have a 1-2-3 of Luke Weaver, Devin Williams, and David Bednar as their sort of closing part of the relief pitching core. The Mets had made a couple of moves here. Of course, they went and upgraded their bullpen yesterday, picking up 3 relievers, including Ryan Helgzy. But on top of that, they just announced that they have gotten Cedric Mullins, the outfielder from the Baltimore Orioles, a guy who is a good glove, has had high moments as a hitter, has not been a great hitter as of recently, but Cedric Mullins going to the New York Mets. Breaking from Jeff Passan just now, Carlos Correa is being traded from the Minnesota Twins to the Houston Astros.
Wow, the reunion no one asked for, but we're going to get anyway.
Carlos Correa is back with the Houston Astros. You're right. Nobody wants to see that because we know he's going to be a great player in the postseason for them once again, and it's going to be the worst thing you've ever watched.
You know what? I actually do appreciate that as a selfish baseball fan of a team that despises the Houston Astros because it makes it easier because,
they're all in one spot.
Exactly.
You can't hate Cora here, and then you got to hate Garrett Cole there, and then you got to hate Correa. Now you got to hate Bregman in Boston still. Instead, what about George Springer, who's hiding in Toronto for the last 7 years? Instead, you can just hate them all in one spot, and that's the Houston Astros.
And then there's some guys that are on the Astros that never even touched that scandal. They got drafted last year, and I'm supposed to boo them with the same veracity as I did for these 2017 team. I can't do that. But when Correa's back in Houston, it's easy. Oh, it's so easy to boo him, and I'm excited for that.
How about that? All right, so Carlos Correa is going back to the Houston Astros. He had a no-trade clause in his contract, too, so clearly wanted to go back. And for the Houston Astros, who are gearing up for a postseason run once again, I hate the Astros because every time they're in the postseason, you hold your breath because they are a wildly dangerous postseason team time and time again. They're champion. They won a clean one in 2022, so you can't knock them for that. But it's always a tough out. Always a tough out for the Houston Astros. They're going to be quite good again when it matters because they got 2 elite pitchers and they got sort of the usual suspects throughout that lineup. So we got a lot to worry about there. Carlos Correa back to the Houston Astros from the Minnesota Twins, announced officially by Jeff Passan moments ago of ESPN.com. Mets make a move for Cedric Mullins, and Yankees a couple moves here and there, a couple relievers being shifted around. But the main ones, we will keep you updated on what's going on. I keep seeing Adolis Garcia to the Mets from the Rangers. I'm not sure if this is true. I've seen it amongst the Scoopers, but I haven't seen an official reporter report that. So I'll hold off on making that official. Adolis Garcia from the Rangers to the Mets. Another guy who cannot hit this year, but hits a lot of RBIs. So the Mets are loading up on a bunch of high-value hitters potentially. So we'll see if that works out. But they need more bats in the back half of that lineup. That's what they're looking for, and that's likely what they're going to be getting. So we'll see what happens there.
And then right down the road, Sandy Alcantara. Like that he has played well the past couple of weeks. I've seen the numbers indicate that, and that market is heating up where we are an hour and 52 minutes away from the deadline being up. So if when Sandy Alcantara is traded from the Marlins to maybe a contender. You'll hear it here first on ESPN 106.3.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on what's going on with Alcantara and see if they could squeeze him in. I know the Yankees are looking for Anthony Bender as well as Alcantara because they got their relievers, the Yankees. Now they need to go get a starter, and that's what they are looking for. So my eyes are on the Yankees here. My eyes maybe on the Mets. Maybe they'll sneak in somewhere. And, of course, you can never count out the Dodgers. I don't think the Marlins would give them up to the Dodgers, but you can never count them out because they always want starting pitching help. So keep an eye out there. But it looks like the Yankees are sort of in the front row seat of that Alcantara sweepstakes. So keep an eye out there.
Cy Young in 2022, I think.
Yes, and then he had the UCL surgery, the Tommy John. And then he had Tommy John. You didn't see him for a year and a half. And then he's finally getting going here. He's playing well in the last three games because probably propping up his player value. But it takes a long time to get over this Tommy John. You're not going to play great immediately. But he was unhittable about 2 years ago. Unhittable. So I think he's a perfect contender for somebody who would go to a new spot and immediately start playing really well.
So now if you're a Marlins fan, that Sandy Alcantara jersey goes into the trash if he does get traded before the deadline today, and you buy your Kyle Stowers jersey. Like he is the hottest thing on that team right now. He is who you put all the eggs in the basket for. Kyle Stowers having a pretty good year, pretty young talent there in Miami because before, probably the best player on the team was Alcantara. And the guy who made the most waves, made the most headlines, was the most relevant in Major League Baseball, might be out the door following Colin's opinion about how the small market teams and the small spending teams are pretty much the minor league teams for the big spenders because once you get good enough, they can't pay you. So you go to LA, New York, Boston, Toronto.
Oh, now I could go to the Yankees now. I could go to the Dodgers now. Now I could get a big contract finally. That's what it looks like. That's what it feels like every single year. Carlos Correa moving back. According to Jeff Passan, that deal was dead about 24 hours ago. And the Astros and the Twins bridged a, quote, significant gap financially to make it work and to bring him back. And for somebody like Carlos Correa, who is used to that franchise, used to that, and can play in the infield, of course, Isaac Paredes, who is out for the season for the Astros, they needed infield help. That's why they go get Carlos Correa back. I hate that. I hate Carlos Correa. I like to seeing him buried in Minnesota. And same with Springer. Those middling AL teams that you'll never see do anything in the postseason, that's where I like having George Springer buried. That's where I like seeing Carlos Correa buried. It stunk seeing Garrett Cole be great in big spots still, but that's where I want to see the Astros. You want to see him in one spot just so we could root against them? Well, I don't want him in Houston because they win in Houston. That's the problem. Houston's going to beat your favorite team. That's the problem. Yankees don't want to see Houston.
Well, yeah, Correa took the Robinson Cano contract, where Robinson Cano was great with the Yankees, won a World Series with the Yankees, and then got paid by the Seattle Mariners. You never heard from him again. We kind of thought that was going to happen to Carlos Correa with the Minnesota Twins, but he found his way back home. And you'll get to know and be reintroduced to Carlos Correa, just 6 or 4 or however more old Correa is now, going back to Houston in October.
That's it. Back to Houston. We'll be gearing up for a postseason run there. I don't know if Adolis Garcia is true yet to the Mets, but they need some batting help. But it sounds like, according to Andy Martino, who covers the Mets for SNY, he said that Mets most likely done. Yanks might not be done. So keep that in mind. The Yankees are probably looking at Alcantara for starting pitching help. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Little
I hope so.
Little trade deadline action here because the past couple minutes has been pretty intense. So some sources are saying that the Mets are done. Some say they're trying to get Adolis Garcia. Nobody really knows what's going on there.
Yeah, since I'm a Yankees fan, I follow the Yankees stuff, and the reporters are just scratching and clawing for any piece and morsel of information because rabid baseball fans eat up rumors, asks, offers. Not that it's concrete news, not that it isn't concrete news, but anything that they hear will be relayed to the fans via social media, via their reporting. So I've seen that like the Yankees have sent out for Papa John's. Like that's some of the reporting that we're getting as well. That they've got 6 pies, 3 pepperoni, 2 extra cheese, and 1 original.
Brian Cashman, the general manager of the Yankees, every year loves waiting until the last possible moment to make a move. Everybody pokes with the stick. Hey, Brian, you with us? Cashman, you with us? And he finally joins the party at the last second. Well, they made 2 moves to get 2 relievers. They got a good bullpen now in the AL. And now they need some starting pitching help. And then hopefully that lineup plus Ryan McMahon can put something together, scrap something together in the postseason. The Yankees are fundamentally flawed. So what they do, they got a good defensive infielder in Ryan McMahon, and they're getting a bunch of pitching.
Good for Jeff Passan, man. He just really cornered this market. He dominated the market because before you had the Heymans and you had who else would report on trade deadline stuff. But Passan's been the guy. ESPN has the guy in terms of breaking news in baseball. He's also very personable, too. So he can do those live TV hits.
He's good on TV.
Funny guy, can go onto your alternative podcasts and make jokes and poke fun at certain fan bases. So Passan is having the most important day of his calendar every single year right now because he broke that Twins trading away Correa back to the Astros news.
Now, the one thing I do like about Passan comparatively to the other, what are they called? The breaking news people?
The Schefters and the
Schefters, the Shamsharanias, formerly the Wojnarowskis. They overstep when they break things that they shouldn't break. They will break who's the 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft 60 seconds before that pick is made. That, to me, is the dumbest thing in the world. That, to me, is stupid. The fact that some guys do that, I think, sort of steps on the whole idea of, like, true breaking news journalism like that because you almost spoil a surprise. But of all of them, I do like Passan quite a bit. I think Passan does a great job in terms of keeping it relatable. And keeping it's a little less transactional. It doesn't feel transactional to him. He's reporting.
Passan is much more human being than Sharania, Woj, and Schefter and Rappaport are.
Yeah.
Like Jeff Passan's a real, tangible human being. They are robots that are addicted to the stuff, and the stuff being scoops, little pieces of information that they can relay to everybody so that they get 100,000 retweets. And they are the ones that get added into the bottom per my name, not per anybody else's name. I had it first. Make sure everyone knows that. There's something I do not like the breaking news guys, except for Passan.
Fair enough. Now, I wonder what they're going to do with Carlos Correa with the Houston Astros. If he's going to play third base, generally a shortstop, but are they going to is Jeremy Pena going to be moving on? How are they going to handle that? So that remains to be seen. That should be interesting. I imagine he could play third base.
Yeah.
Or Pena even play third base, no problem.
I think Pena's earned that spot, and you keep him there.
Yeah.
Win a World Series with Pena. Like, he has paid his dues, and he's been there for almost as long as Correa was with Houston before Correa left. I think you move your feet, lose your seat if you're Carlos Correa.
I tend to agree. They probably wouldn't move Pena. I know they've been trying to extend him, but we'll see what happens there. Interesting. All right. Trade deadline still rolling on here on the MLB side of things. We got you updated. We'll see if Stephen Kwan, the outfielder for the Cleveland Guardians, who is young and who's a capable postseason player and is one of the more prized possessions on the market, if he is going to get moved, that should be interesting to see if somebody like San Diego, if somebody like the Mets, if somebody like one of those teams takes a swing for Stephen Kwan. Remains to be seen.
Someone just sent me Jeff Passan's phone number. You think he's got time for us right now?
You think Passan could give us a quick spot on Carlos Correa?
I don't think Passan has time to do anything other than his contractually obligated hits with the ESPN National. And
let's go late today, and at 6:04, we'll ask him if he can cut out 15 minutes.
There you go.
We'll see. Christian, Cat, Colin, Russo and Rizzo, trade deadline edition MLB. Also some interesting quotes from the camp of John Harbaugh and from the camp of Jaden Daniels. We'll break that down as we get further into the program. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli. And
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia. Celebrate big during the Freedom Sale at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Get incentives up to $11,000 off MSRP on select new Kias. Drive a 2024 Kia Telluride for just $38,998, or lease a 2025 Kia K4, only $199 a month for 24 months, $34.99 due at signing, 0 security deposit. Plus, make no payments till fall. We'll take any trade, push it, pull it, drag it, and get up to $6,000 over KBB value towards any red tag Kia. Only at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800 New Kias or visit GreenwayKiaWestPalmBeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
With approved credit through KFA. Stock number SG005991. MSRP $45,235. 10,000 miles a year. Plus tax tag $999 admin fee. Payments deferred 90 days. Interest accrues. Includes all factory rebates. Offers don't combine. Expires 8/15/25.
The St. Lucie Mets are in the home stretch, and you don't want to miss it. August brings 15 home games to Clover Park, packed with fireworks and fan favorites like $2 beer, hot dogs, soda, and popcorn on select nights. It's affordable, family-friendly fun on the Treasure Coast. And in September, playoff baseball comes to Port St. Lucie. Catch the future stars of the big leagues now. Every game is a new memory waiting to happen. Get tickets and more info at stluciemets.com.
Serving clients for over 30 years, Team IP has been the #1 souvenir merchandiser in the U.S., proudly powering over 2,800 events and 24 college football bowl games every year, including ESPN, ESPN events, and the Boca Raton Bowl right here in South Florida. From custom apparel to branded promo gear, we bring your event to life. Want to boost your brand? Visit teamip.com and make Team IP your team today. Teamwork makes the dream work.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
You heard it, the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine, if you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they're here to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Why settle for just any attorney? Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. Don't waste any time in getting back what you deserve today. All it takes is one phone call. Take back control of that life. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation now. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Jesus Sanchez, the outfielder from the Miami Marlins, traded to the Houston Astros, per Mark Feinstein, about 2 minutes ago. He's had a pretty good year. The Astros need a lefty bat, and they get it. Jesus Sanchez out from the Marlins into the Astros. Let's see, with about an hour and 38 minutes to go till the trade deadline closes. Sandy Alcantara, I'll get the name right. Is the last big name that I could see or other than Stephen Kwan, who are probably going to be moved in the meantime. On the NFL side of things, John Harbaugh said some interesting things to the media in regard to Lamar Jackson. Of course, he's going to talk great about his quarterback, and of course we know how great Lamar is. But the part of Lamar's game that you compliment, it's interesting direction he took. Take a listen to John Harbaugh earlier this week at training camp.
I think from a football standpoint, just go to the most basic, simple thing. Lamar is a passer.
Yeah,
he is a historically good passer, and that's really quite a statement because of the narrative that's been surrounding him ever since the beginning. Lamar Jackson can throw the football. He can throw it every kind of way. He can make every kind of throw any kind of way you want. He's as good as any passer that there's ever been, and I think now the numbers are proving that.
John Harbaugh saying that Lamar Jackson is a historically great passer. Christian Cat is the Ravens fan of the bunch here. Now, he had 41 touchdowns last year, and he didn't turn the ball over much at all. Of course, he's got the other MVP where he got the third. I think he had 40 touchdowns that year, but he's been up and down in his passing game ability throughout his career. I think that we could both agree on. He's a great all-around player. I'm not saying, he's just an athlete. What's your takeaway? Is he a historically great passer in your eyes?
He's a great passer. Historically great, the numbers might say, but if you were to strap cinder blocks to his legs and then said, okay, you got to stay in the pocket, I feel like you would see those numbers dwindle. And I'm not going to play the if game, but when you do split hairs and use words like the passer instead of quarterback, you're making that case. You are calling it and singling out one specific part of someone's game, and passer indicates to me no threat of the run. And I think the threat of the run from Lamar Jackson can help his passing numbers. I don't think I'm breaking news when I say that.
His greatest strength is his athleticism.
And it has defenses having to worry about a third element. Not just the passing of the football, not just the running of the running back, but the running of the quarterback. And it opens up windows when the play gets extended to 6 or 7 seconds, because it's really hard to defend a guy for longer than that. And Lamar Jackson's maneuverability, mobility allows that to happen for his targets and opens up windows that are not there for your typical pocket passer. So if you're just going to say passer, that feels code for pocket passer. Am I mistaken there?
I don't know if I would say that, because I think the fact that you could do both does not make it seem that you could only be referred to as one or the other, because I think Lamar is a great all-around player. For being such an outstanding athlete, he is a very good to great thrower of the football. My problem with Lamar is he turns it on and off depending on which game it is. If it's a big playoff game, Lamar hasn't shown you very rarely that he could beat you straight up with his arm. And that, to me, are the great passers of the NFL, guys who could take you down the field via the passing. Lamar's done it before, drive here, drive there, but Lamar does not dominate you via his arm in the postseason. That's just the bottom line. He's got 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He hasn't been he's been an okay postseason player. He's gotten better. He's only been in the league for 5 or 6 years.
And he was not the reason the Ravens lost in the divisional round last year.
He was not. They were taking him down the field. So because of that, you can make the argument that it should look a little different. But the bottom line is Lamar has never had that game in the postseason where, oh my God, Lamar passing the ball was unbelievable. He's got the play action. He's got the deep threat ability. He's good with his tight ends over the middle of the field. He's got pretty good touch. He's gotten so much better as a passer in the last 4 years. Historically great passer. I don't know what you could say that would match that up other than the year he just had, right? It's just not, it hasn't been consistent enough for me to say something like that. Is he a historically great player? Yes. Is he a historically great passer? Probably not, because his greatest strength is his athleticism and his rushing ability.
This kind of reminds me of saying someone in basketball is a great scorer, where you take that and, okay, they might be putting up crazy numbers in the regular season, but when it matters most, are they still putting up numbers like that, or at least are they still having the same percentage of points from their team like that? Or when the games get important and defenses get a lot more tougher and guys stay on the court for longer, are those numbers going to dwindle precipitously because you can't keep that up in a 7-game series against a playoff team?
I think statistically you can make arguments for whether somebody's a great passer, great scorer, but a lot of it is eye test. There's a reason why we view Durant as such an unbelievable scorer. Carmelo Anthony is such an unbelievable scorer, not because they're scoring more than anybody at any given time. They might have a couple scoring titles, but it's because of how they score, the impressiveness in which they score. I think a lot goes into the passing as well. I'm not going to say Lamar's passing is easy, but it's based off of a run game. That now every quarterback strives for this, but traditional pocket passers don't necessarily need the help of a play-action game to aid their passing. Jordan Love is another example of this. Jordan Love, majority of his passes, 60% of them, are play-action. That makes it so much easier when you got a great running game and a great running back. Your passing game opens up. Somebody who, in my mind, is a historically great passer can take you down the field and will somebody down the field just off his passing ability. And I think you see that rarely, but when I see Mahomes do it, it just looks a little bit more impressive because of how he does it comparatively. Lamar will take that deep shot. He'll get that shot over the middle. Guys run free. It works because they deal with a lot of man coverage. When you're really dicing your way down a field, there's just a little bit more of an eye candy aspect to that. Now, Lamar is an eye candy player through and through, but his passing ability is not. I don't know. You said we're not breaking any news with that. I agree. Lamar's passing is not as pretty and not as quote-unquote impressive as other players.
Yeah, if you strapped into a combine drill, things would be a little bit different, which that's not real football. And we're not saying that it's taking away from Lamar's ability to play quarterback. Lamar Jackson is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, unarguably. And quarterback is a position, and there are different elements of the position, and Lamar Jackson happens to be the greatest of all time at running the football as a quarterback. That factors into being a quarterback. When you say passer, that kind of does strip away the rush threat. And it is Major League Baseball trade deadline day, so I feel obligated to give another piece of breaking news.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. If your vehicle has issues with braking or other issues, get it fixed right now at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
So, Colin, the big deal at midnight last night was Mason Miller to the Padres, correct?
Earlier today. Suarez was last night. Miller was this morning.
I wasn't awake yet, so it still was last night to me. I rolled over and saw those trades. Well, the Padres aren't done yet. The San Diego Padres are finalizing a deal to acquire first baseman Ryan O'Hearn and outfielder Ramon Laureano from the Baltimore Orioles.
Wow, O'Hearn's had a good year. Former A, Ramon Laureano, was on those great A's teams. They let him walk after he juiced to the gills and steroids. But O'Hearn's a good player. O'Hearn's a good bat. He's a good bat. He will help them offensively. I wonder what they're giving up for that. The Padres do not screw around. Boy, the trade deadline is like their Super Bowl. They go, you know what, to the wall. They go right after everybody. They got Mason Miller in there. They got J.P. Sears as another rotation starter. And now they got Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano. Ramon Laureano has been up and down, really, since he left Oakland. He's been traded a lot, has been in a lot of teams, has dealt with the steroid issues in the past. But he is getting inputted. He's playing a little bit better this year, I believe. Yeah, he is playing a little bit better based on Baltimore. Baltimore's getting everybody out. Cedric Mullins, goodbye. They got no outfielders. Cedric Mullins, goodbye. Ramon Laureano, goodbye. So Baltimore's selling, and San Diego's buying.
What happened in Baltimore is startling.
Yeah.
Resetting from ground zero.
Yeah, it probably takes him out of Stephen Kwan, too. So Stephen Kwan's probably not going to go to San Diego. Continue.
But, they were so bad for so long, which got them so many draft picks that turned into prospects that were flourishing. The young core, it looked like a new regime in the American League East for a moment in time. And from that to be selling at this magnitude feels pretty nuts.
And that's what I'm nervous about the A's. That's why I have my doubts about what the A's are doing, because they have a similar situation. They have a bunch of excellent position players that are good, young bats that are going to be 22 through 25 in the next 3 years, and you could really capitalize on that. But they don't have pitching. Why did the Orioles burn out? They don't have pitching. They had Corbin Burns. They tried to get him back. Corbin Burns wanted nothing to do with Baltimore, even with a big contract. He went over to Arizona and ended up being a good move because he got hurt and he's out for 2 years. Grayson Rodriguez has never been able to stay on the field. I remember they have Felix Bautista, who's back this year, but he had to deal with Tommy John. The pitching's never been able to figure it out. And they're not willing. They've been better about it because of just the young players who get no choice. But they've never been a big swinger in terms of signing people, putting money on the table, and getting things done. And that's why you kind of get burned. With a young lineup that's devoid of veterans and pitching. That's where, and now they're sort of resetting here because they're basically saying, hey, our season's over. Our season's over. Let's reset. We'll try again next year with a lot of the same guys. Maybe Jackson Holliday will have it figured out by then. Westberg, all these players. That's what the Orioles are saying.
You don't like this deadline? You don't like Major League Baseball trade deadline?
No, I'm having fun right now because there's a couple. The thing is, you drink the Kool-Aid.
It's got diminishing returns.
It's the Mets, it's the Padres, it's the Dodgers, it's the do-something Yankees. But the fact that we've seen the Astros, but now that you got the Blue Jays, the Tigers, we're waiting on the Cubs to see if they'll make a move. Brewers done nothing. But I'm at a point now where since we're an hour and a half away, hour 27 minutes away, I'm into it. Unfortunately.
Now things are happening. Fireworks. You hate the fireworks show.
I told you this yesterday when they inevitably call the A's and see who they don't want to pay or who they don't want to keep around, and then they'll sell them. And that's what happened today with Mason Miller. I don't think the A's are going to make any other trades, but that's what happened.
I stumbled into a metaphor or whatever the other one, not a metaphor, a simile, I think.
Okay.
This is pretty much a fireworks show because in South Florida, it's freaking hot and you're standing in a field waiting from noon until sunset for the fireworks to begin. And for that duration of time, you're sitting there getting bit by mosquitoes. You're annoyed because everyone brought their kids there. A football gets thrown in your direction and knocks over your drink. It's really annoying, and you're tired of it. But once the fireworks happen, all right, all is forgiven, and we have fireworks. Boom, pop, crackle. I love it.
Be in the moment.
And then once the fireworks are over, you're stuck in traffic for 2 hours, getting out of the parking lot because everyone's leaving at the same time. And then once the trade deadline is over, after all of those grandiose moves, the fun Jeff Passan notifications dominate SportsCenter for the day, the movement, the big names and new places, you have these homegrown stars at the contenders, the same 5 teams, and it kind of feels a little bit dirty. So it stinks leading up.
It's fun in the moment when there's a sense of suspense, but when you think about it hindsight and look back, you think, wow, that was a really crappy party outside of those fireworks. It was a really crappy party. Trade deadline rolls on. Lamar Jackson, maybe a historically great passer, maybe not. The thing is, he's 5 years into his career. If there's one thing I can guarantee about Lamar Jackson, to finish up this point before we get to break, is Lamar Jackson has every opportunity to sort of fall into a new mold of being a great passer consistently because his athleticism is not going to be there his whole career. If Lamar wants to play 15 years, he's not going to be the ever-elusive offensive piece, Swiss Army knife, if you will, that he is now. He's going to be that for the next 3, 4, 5 years, but there's a certain point in which Lamar is going to have to rely a little bit way more on his arm, a little less on his legs. It happens to everybody. It happened to Vic.
But I tell you what, I don't want him to throttle down. Like, I want to get, for the next 5 years, 100% on Lamar Jackson, taking every health risk in the book, taking the hits, and then getting the risk of no Lamar Jackson.
You say this until he tears apart his hips or something like that, and then you're going to be circling back thinking this guy needs to be a pocket passer.
But I'd rather take all of Lamar Jackson, shortening his career to greater the chance of Ravens Super Bowls in these 5 years than try to stretch him out for 10 years not get all of Lamar Jackson.
Have you asked Lamar if he's willing to do this as well? So Christian's willing to sacrifice Lamar's body at the expense of a Ravens Super Bowl. If it's 4 or 5 years of Lamar, see ya forever. Instead, if we get a Super Bowl in that period, I'd take that instead of 10 to 15 years of contending additionally with Lamar. That's what you're saying?
Yes. Lamar Jackson is at his best and makes the Ravens their best when he is full-fledged Lamar Jackson. I will run this ball 85 yards for a touchdown because I'm faster than anyone in your secondary. That's what I want out of Lamar Jackson. I don't want watered down. I'm going to prove to you that I can be a historic passer because I'm sorry, Lamar Jackson, you are not a pocket passer. So don't try to be something you're not in order to extend your career if I'm a Ravens fan. And I am a Ravens fan.
Let's run that career into the ground physically.
we've
You
gotten
just want them
to the
win. You
championship
just want them
game.
to win, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I would rather 10 years, and he's going to have to adapt eventually. That's the bottom line. He's going to have to adapt. He's not going to be the Lamar that you know so consistently for the next over 4 years. But by the time he gets 30 years old, he's not going to be running the way he is. He shouldn't be. That's why they're probably going to rely on that crazy run game. But Lamar's done a better job of protecting his body and staying out of harm's way. Risky, though. It's almost like, would you trade? If you could guarantee a Super Bowl appearance the next 4 years or playoff appearances for the next 10, would you sign up for option number one?
Well, the Ravens are a very functional organization, so I would sign up for the Super Bowl.
You'd sign up for the Super Bowl and done with Lamar after 4 years, one Super Bowl appearance, no guarantee of a win, or playoffs for the next 10 years?
Yeah, because I have confidence that organization is able to build another playoff performing team, even if Lamar Jackson is not part of the team. You just got to rework things. It'll take a year or two.
I don't know if I would do the same thing. I don't know if I would. I think that quarterback is few and far between. I think the Ravens are very fortunate that they've had good quarterbacks. Maybe they could figure it out again, but they drafted Lamar at the end of the first round. He sort of fell to them.
Yeah,
wasn't like they went and got him, and he fell to them. So I don't know if they would get lucky like that again, but you never know. You never know. Christian, Cat, Colin, Russo, as we continue on with a trade deadline edition of Russo and Rizzo. We roll on. Stick around. 888-760-3776. Is Lamar, in your eyes, Lamar Jackson, a historically great passer? Is he even a great passer in your eyes? Let us know. 888-760-3776. Christian, Cat, Colin, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
The weather is heating up and summer is here. Stay cool with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSisyes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
What if every use of your debit card turns spare change into something meaningful, like growing your savings and supporting local community causes? With Flagler Credit Union's Impact Checking with Everyday Change, your spare change can have big impact. Each transaction can be rounded up to grow your savings and support nonprofits that provide meals, shelter, and essential services locally. Make an impact in your life and in your community. Open your Impact Checking account today. Insured by NCUA, official credit union of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Trade deadline, just about an hour and 18 minutes in the MLB. Jaden Daniels saying night and day difference from what we'd expected last year and what we saw from him last year versus what we will see from him in year 2. John Harbaugh says that Lamar Jackson is a historically great passer. It's Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, Christian Cat, Colin Russo. We're at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach on your radio dial, ESPN 106.3. Also streaming live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Check out our Instagram or our Twitter at ESPN West Palm because you can see what is going on with ESPN Ocho. Because now August 1st, I believe, is the date. Or no, August 9th, I believe, is the date for the ESPN Ocho coming out. And what's happening with ESPN Ocho is, for those who don't know, I'll tell you about it in about 5 minutes.
That's a good tease, but what do we do with ESPN the Ocho?
Well, what we're going to do is when 50 days, 50 states, Sports Center, jumping around, along with ESPN the Ocho, they're going to be at the ESPN Wide World of Sports in Orlando in August 15th. So you can catch that there, and also you're going to see a bunch of seldom used sports. What I mean by that is you're going to see a sack race. You're going to see all the stuff that you don't see. What we did, Tina and I, as you can check out on our Instagram, is Christina Costanza and I did a bubblegum contest, and I lost first round. And then you played her after that?
Yeah. You go to our Instagram to find out the results.
So, yeah, I lied about the first, or I guess I spoiled the first round matchup. And the second round matchup was you and her. And one thing I learned is I'm not a gum chewer, number one. Number two is I don't know how to blow bubbles. So
just in general, like you gotta flatten it out and you blow into it.
Well, I figured it out eventually, but I'm putting the clock here, cameras in my face. Hey, start blowing bubbles with bubble gum.
The gladiator in the arena, huh?
Not something I'm used to. ESPN 8, the Ocho. It's coming once again to the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. It's 50 states in 50 days. You're sure you heard about it with the sports centers all over the country. And it continues in Florida Friday, August 1st. So just
tomorrow.
About 24 hours. You can see it throughout the month of August. You can see it throughout the summer. And you can see action across 11, their words, seldom seen sports. That's dodgeball, pillow fighting, slippery stairs. You can see bubblegum chewing and what do you call it? Bubble blowing?
Yeah.
Bubble blowing is the word. Bubble blowing. And also they're going to have a live edition of the Ocho Show and a special edition of Sports Center as part of ESPN Sports Center's 50 states in 50 days. Check out some Ocho merchandise. You can check it out, disneysports.com/Ocho. Christian Cat, Colin Russo, Russo and Rizzo, of course. Trade deadline rolls on. Christian, is there a team that you think has gotten the most, had the most improvement because of this deadline? I think I have an answer, and I think it's the Mets. I think the Mets have gotten substantially better this deadline. The Padres sort of retooled, a little weird, but the Mets added some bats, and especially in the outfield. They've added a little bit of depth, a little bit of experience, and they added a number of relievers. That is what the Mets needed, and I think from any team, other than maybe Toronto getting Bieber, I think the Mets have done a very good job of making this team, not giving up a ton, number one, and number two, getting their team a lot better. Is there a team that you have?
It's a good team. That's what I was thinking because I'm really high on Cedric Mullins. I just like him as a ball player. Anyone who plays great defense, in my eyes,
he's a good outfielder. He's a great outfielder.
I love watching him just command center field, and he takes up so much space. Like there is nowhere safe to hit it in the gap when you have Cedric Mullins playing center field. He had a great catch like yesterday, like in a matinee where the Orioles were playing. So I love what the Mets are doing during this deadline, adding to their already really loaded team in general, where it is an arms race in the NL, where I am happy that my favorite team plays in the American League, where it is a lot less competitive in the current state of baseball.
One thing I was looking at earlier, because I'm trying to figure out if I think that the Padres are much better than what they were about 24 hours ago with these trades from A.J. Preller. And I think they are better, but at the expense of what? A.J. Preller, who is the general manager of the San Diego Padres, who traded Leo DeVries earlier today, who's the third prospect in baseball, 18-year-old international player, somebody who's probably projected to be that next big thing, Tatis-like. Of the people that he has traded when they were prospects, Trey Turner, James Wood, Max Fried, Josh Naylor. This is all from the Padres. Mackenzie Gore, David Bednar, who just got traded to the Yankees from Pirates. C.J. Abrams, Zach Eflin, Hunter Renfroe, who was not a prospect at the time. Leo DeVries, Braden Nett, who was in that A's trade as well, who's the Padres' third player. That's a lot of prospects and a lot of good baseball players that you've given up. And what have you gotten in return? You've gotten, a couple rentals, Soto, a couple guys that keep you guys in the postseason, but they have no World Series championships to show for it. But to Preller's credit, he is fearless.
When you're in the same state, same division, same league as the Dodgers,
yeah, I think he's
you got to be
challenged
ambitious.
by them. Yeah, he's challenged by that. He's like, we're not going to outspend them. We live down the street. We were out of the Ohtani sweepstakes, and we were right there as well. We need to be swinging for the fences.
This is the only way for them to compete in terms of resources. We don't have the dollars, but we can just liquidate all of our assets, and that is your farm system, because we need ball players and we need them now.
There's probably some truth to that. There's probably some truth to the fact that the Dodgers can kind of autopilot their way through the offseason and sign anybody they want. And then towards the trade deadline, they'll make a couple moves for a starter or a reliever because they always need arms. And then they kind of just move on, and then you'll see them in the postseason, hopefully healthy, and they'll be dangerous. Now, according to John Heyman, who is a New York Post MLB Network contributor, somebody involved with baseball, he goes, teams with good pieces have consistently asked the Yankees about top outfield prospect Spencer Jones. Somebody who's like, lauded as another Judge. He's huge. He's a big bat. He's a fun player. He could hit the ball 1,000 feet. Yankees are consistent on, when teams ask about Spencer Jones, the Yankees are consistent on the idea, and Spencer Jones has not been called up, so keep that in mind. They're consistent on the fact that they will only trade Spencer Jones and others in the package for Paul Skeens, and that is it.
This is rinse and repeat. The Yankees have done this with so many prospects.
They're dropping seeds. Wait, hold on. We'll only do it for Skeens. Oh, he's not available. We'll talk in a year. See if he's available then.
They did this with these guys that never pan out, like the Clint Frazier's. And for my New York transplants that live here, you shudder at some of these names that I'm going to bring up, like Davy Garcia. You shudder at the thought of Clint Frazier. You shudder at the thought of Miguel Andujar. These guys that might be good.
And now you're dealing with the Dominguez and Volpe experiments.
Yes, holding on to Jason Dominguez because we drafted him when he was 11 years old out of the DR, and we're just seeing him not be able to play the outfield. Made a good catch last night, though. But it has been really hard to watch these same decisions being made in terms of protecting prospects to the highest degree. We'll only trade him for the number one valuable piece in baseball right now. When you compare productivity and you compare how cheap you can get him for, yeah, Paul Skeens is the golden goose. He is the number one guy right now. That's the only exception to trading this guy.
And it's only because he plays for the Pirates.
So you're telling me Spencer Jones is the second most valuable player in baseball? That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
In terms of how cheap you have him for, because he's a minor leaguer right now, and in terms of his potential, that seems a little bit optimistic to a fault, if you ask me, in terms of baseball fandom, Yankee fandom, pulling my hair out, because the current product isn't very good for the New York Yankees, and the attempts to get better in a vulnerable American League are a little bit soft.
Yeah. And he just got called up to AAA this year. He's a 24-year-old. He's not going to debut this year. I'd be surprised. So you're probably going to see him when he's 25. So that's a late bloomer. Judge-like. He reminds them of Judge. That's what it is.
Aaron Judge is going to be
he's 6'7",
on his way out at that point.
He's 6'7", 240. He's 6'7", 240. He reminds them of Judge. That's what it is. A lefty Judge. But I agree. The prospect hugging, there's probably somewhere in between the Yankees and the Padres where major markets should operate. Padres are a little too gunslinger in regard to getting rid of some of their prospects, and the Yankees are probably a little too protective on the flip side. Dodgers are pretty good about that, but they usually ship out most guys by the deadlines. Anyway, Phillies usually pretty good about that too. Either cards close to chest or they'll ship out a couple pieces. So there's somewhere in between the Dodgers and the Yankees that I think teams should probably aspire to be at.
Should I try to go to the Marlins game tomorrow? The Yankees are coming to town. 7:10 p.m. first pitch in Miami. I'd get off the air at 6. I'm not going to be here next week, so I got things to take care of.
I don't know. You're not going to get there. You're not going to get there to the fourth inning.
That's true. Driving southbound to Miami and
Southbound living right at 6.
But the traffic's going north at that time.
Yeah, but I think just traffic, period. No? And even if, what's good news? You get to Fort Lauderdale by 6:45. You think the traffic at Fort Lauderdale to Miami is going to be good from 6:45 to 7:15?
That's true. And you got to find parking.
And you're going. It's actually easy to get parking at the Lone Depot. I've had good success doing that. But you're also going to it's the southernmost part of Miami. Close to it, as close as you could get. I made the drive.
Weekend,
I made the drive. It's about an hour 15. I went on a Saturday. About an hour 15.
Dang it.
You could go. Have Cade Chumsland take over the last segment and a half.
Maybe. We'll see.
Get out at 5:30. Maybe you get out at 5:30, you'd make first pitch.
I guess so, but I probably would go alone if I were to go.
I went alone, and I saw Mason Miller, my prized possession, give up a grand slam to Kyle Stowers.
Wow, that's the last time you saw him in person in an athletics uniform.
Yeah, he's blown a game. How about that?
Bad omen or good omen?
Maybe that was a little bit of a God letting me know this guy's not going to be here much longer.
Don't worry, Colin.
Guy's not going to be here much longer. We got to get to a break, and on the flip side, we will talk a little bit more about the 5 at 5. And also, I want to get into Jaden Daniels had a couple interesting comments talking about everybody loves talking about a sophomore quarterback and how the game starts to slow down. Jaden Daniels went to the NFC Championship game last year. We thought C.J. Stroud was a perfect rookie year. I'd make the argument that Jaden Daniels had just about as close to perfect of a rookie year as a quarterback could possibly have. The highlights, the lowlights, the ups, the downs, the fun, the great team, bringing them back sort of from the dead, from a dead period from that Washington Commander franchise. And now he's saying it's going to be night and day from what you saw earlier as you did last year. So from that, we'll see. And I want to get a little bit of a temperature check on these second-year guys, the Bo Nixes of the world, the Drake Mays of the world. Who's in line for a big shoot-up? Who's in line for a little bit of a plateau? And who's in line for a little bit of a sophomore slump? It happens to everybody. It happens to probably one player a year. We'll get into that. On to the flip side, we'll do a little 5 at 5 with Christian Cat. Stick around for it. Second hour of Russo and Rizzo coming up right here on ESPN 106.3.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia. Celebrate big during the Freedom Sale at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Get incentives up to $11,000 off MSRP on select new Kias. Drive a 2024 Kia Telluride for just $38,998, or lease a 2025 Kia K4, only $199 a month for 24 months, $34.99 due at signing, 0 security deposit. Plus, make no payments till fall. We'll take any trade, push it, pull it, drag it, and get up to $6,000 over KBB value towards any red tag Kia. Only at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800 New Kias or visit GreenwayKiaWestPalmBeach.com.
We want to see you in a Greenway Kia.
With approved credit through KFA. Stock number SG005991. MSRP $45,235. 10,000 miles a year. Plus tax tag $999 admin fee. Payments deferred 90 days. Interest accrues. Includes all factory rebates. Offers don't combine. Expires 8/15/25.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
This is ESPN 106.3's Mike Rizzo. Recently, I had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Michael Stark, a spine surgeon in the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. When it comes to spine injuries, Dr. Stark says there can be a misconception.
It's broad. Everyone thinks back would just be pain, but that's not always the case. In the spine is all your nerves, your spinal cord and your nerves that come out into the lumbar spine. Problems that you can see with those aren't just pain necessarily. Those are the more obvious, but you can see numbness. Patients can come in without pain, but they may have weakness in their leg or in their arm. And that may be from a pinched nerve that's higher up in the spine somewhere. So those are usually more alarm type symptoms where I would say you need to get evaluated. But it could also be something simple like a muscle strain or pull where it would end up with back pain or tightness that could result in symptoms prompting care.
That's Dr. Michael Stark with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362 or go online to pbhnphysiciangroup.com.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's DQ Grill and Chill's new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard! This limited time treat combines DQ's signature soft serve, dyed blue, of course, along with sugar cookie dough, cake batter flavor, and sprinkles. The Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard is available for a limited time only at DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1, just south of North Lake.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Progressive knows there are 2 things RV owners love: to travel and relax. And they like to take both nice and slow. Just like this commercial. And what's more relaxing than the peace of mind knowing their RV is protected by Progressive? Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, you ready for a stress-free move? Choose Safebound Moving and Storage, Florida's #1 movers. With a solid reputation, we set the standard for excellence. Trust us for local, long-distance, commercial, or luxury moves. We offer over 200,000 square feet of secure storage. We handle everything, so you don't have to. Your possessions will be treated like our own, always in perfect condition. Visit safeboundmoving.com for a free quote. Safe with Safebound. Your move matters.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Collins!
Second hour, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063 with Christian Cat, Colin Russo. Streaming live, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Also on your radio dial at ESPN 1063. It is baseball closing day of the trade deadline. About 1 hour. 1 hour on the dot. 59 minutes to be exact until the trade deadline. It comes and goes. So all eyes are on Sandy Alcantara, pitcher from the Miami Marlins. I got the name right this time. And see if the New York Yankees can pull the trigger and not give up their top prospect in the process of this. That sounds to be the last boulder in the way before something like that were to happen. And the Marlins don't need to give it up. They don't need to give him up. They got 3 years of control with him, and they're not a bad team. So they could stick around with him if they want. So I think that gives them a little bit of leverage in this situation. Padres made another move in the last 2 minutes.
Oh.
They went and acquired infield Will Wagner from the Blue Jays for a catcher. How about that? Will Wagner is a good player, too.
He goes by Will Wagner, even though he could go by Billy Wagner, which is a very famous player from the past.
Yeah.
He play on the Braves.
Yep. And Will Wagner is he's a utility player. Not a great bat, but he's a good infielder. You can play him anyway.
Okay, good for him. Well, that's why he goes by Will Wagner. It's because Bill Wagner was already taken by someone in the baseball lexicon. You don't want to be the other Bill Wagner.
Does he go by Bill or Billy? I think he goes by Billy.
Yes.
But, he was great with the Red Sox as well. But, yeah. Will Wagner to the Padres. The Padres are going to have – I saw a great tweet. The Padres are going to have the beer vendors playing for their AA team because they got no prospects left. They're going to have, you and I are going to get calls to go play for the Padres farm system. Jeez. All the rookies are going to get called up. They just traded away 7 guys today.
It's good news for guys that are in the lower levels of the farm system. If you're in single A of the Padres
There's no way to go but up. There's
exactly.
no way to go but they're also in danger of getting traded in the next 58 minutes.
Is that money better when you get higher in minor league baseball?
Yes.
Or is it the same if you're in the farm?
It's very marginal, but yes, it's better. AAA is a little bit more stable living than single A or AA. Those players rely on their and I know a number of players who have dealt through it. It's a tough way to live once you get a great signing bonus and you live off that until you get up. That's what it is. So I had a friend who just got drafted in the 7th round by the Washington Nationals. Now that's probably a $350,000 signing bonus. But then you start in the minor leagues, and then you're kind of living off that until you can figure it out.
You can stretch $350,000 for a lot.
You sure can. You sure can.
Especially if you get a job in the offseason if you want to. Yeah, you can do that.
Right.
You get 7 years out of that if you want to.
Living very cheaply, but you're also traveling and playing baseball.
So like do you have to pay for your travel?
No, but I don't know how much they accommodate. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
Food, that's everything. You think they feed them well, the single A players? Probably.
You get granola bars.
Yeah.
They get sustained.
Fruit snacks.
You're on the CCAT diet. You have 1 meal a day.
1 meal a day. Christian Cat, Colin Russo. It's 2 Little 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking Big Ten.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
First-year head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, is laying down the law. He is ruling with an iron fist. This is from Tommy Yarish, who covers the Dallas Cowboys. There have been multiple fights today at Cowboys practice. After the third of these fights, a furious Brian Schottenheimer, head coach of the Cowboys, made the whole team, including some of the coaching staff, run as punishment. Fair or foul, Colin?
Love it.
Making your coaching staff run.
I love when a coach holds people accountable. I love when a coach goes a little old school. It's a little Dan Campbell-esque, but Schottenheimer is my least favorite hire of the offseason. My least favorite, by a wide margin. I did not think that that's too big of a job for somebody who hadn't had major experience. I thought that was awesome. I did. Get him on the line. Nothing makes you honest like doing a suicide or down and back or something like that, or a wind sprint. Nothing makes you honest like that.
We called him in high school jingles. I don't know why, but they were called jingles. You just run 40 yards there and back, and you got to beat the supposed time, the arbitrary time that the coach would have, and everyone on the team has to beat the time, or nobody beats the time.
That's it. That's it.
Live together, die alone.
We had the 10-second down and back that we had to nail in basketball. We had the 30-second, I want to say, suicide, which is where you touch the free throw line, baseline, half court, so on and so forth. That was about, I believe, 28 seconds, I want to say. So there was a 14 sideline to sideline. You had to do it in like 45 seconds. And if the big guy who couldn't move his feet couldn't get it, guess what? Back in the line.
And it would be the running backs and the quarterbacks and the receivers. The skill guys would run together. And then there would be the linemen. Then you think
they'd have a different time.
Yeah, exactly. But who did the tight end go with? And I was a tight end. We would fight to run with the linemen because the linemen have a slower time to have to beat. But we never ran with the linemen. It was always the fast, skinny guys and the tight ends
if you
that would
catch
hold everybody
passes,
up.
You sit with everybody else.
Oh, my gosh.
You catch passes. You cannot be with the offensive lineman. Not fair. I agree with the coach.
You would run jingles to death.
I agree with coach.
So Brian Schottenheimer laying in the law. Colin, you love it.
I love that, and I love that your coach made you guys run with the skinnier guys. I love that.
Number 2.
Check this out. In Georgia, there's a reason why the state of Georgia poaches a lot of high school coaches from the state of Florida at the high school level. They've got money, dude. Flat out cash and dough in the South when it comes to high school football. Buford High School in Georgia has officially opened a $62 million football stadium. It's got 10,000 seats. It's got 15 luxury suites, a 3,500 square foot video scoreboard, and a 2-story field house with locker rooms. It's nicer than a lot of college football stadiums. Have you ever experienced high school football when it's done this big in Texas or similar spots?
No, I went to a Connecticut high school that has very good football, like state championship level football year in and year out. So that the program had money. We didn't have a stadium, but they called it a stadium. It was a lowered field. They had a rock built up where people could sit. They had that little media tower, and that was it. And then they had the bleachers on the other side. I thought it was nice, and it was nothing crazy. $60 million. Where do you get the money for this? Is this taxpayer dollars?
It's got to be large part taxpayer. Like, it's not private school, not Catholic school.
Right. You know, this is not. Is this donors? What donors are spending $60 million for a high school program? This has got to be taxpayer dollars. I'd be annoyed. That's too much money. That's too much money for what? If I was the 48-year-old in the town, and you know, my kid just graduated college, and I have no use for it anymore, why would I stay? So the weight room can have 600 squat racks of stainless steel.
While the science department has no test tubes.
Right.
They ran out of microscopes.
Right. The textbooks from 1984. But we got a brand new video screen. We got a Jumbotron. We're doing like the cups with the football in it, and you're moving it around, and the crowd's trying to follow along at a high school game.
They've got the subway game.
They got people dressed up as vegetables running along the sideline during the game. That's the stupidest thing in the world. That's way too much money. I don't agree with that at all.
No. Have you ever? So you had good football.
I've never been
something that big.
Yeah, we know how great the football is here in Palm Beach County, but they don't have giant stadiums like Texas and Georgia.
Yeah, like the athletes are great here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast.
The facilities are great in Texas and Georgia.
In Oklahoma, it kind of it's up there. It's not Texas. Oklahoma is Texas wannabe. That's the identity of Oklahoma. You mash together Kansas and Texas and get Oklahoma. And you have Oklahomans that like Texas more than Kansas.
I'm sure California's pretty good at the big private schools. Other than that, probably not.
Covering high school football for our town, we played all of the Tulsa and Oklahoma City suburbs and schools that are around there. Some pretty nice stadiums.
Wow.
Bixby, Jenks, it makes you feel like you're in a college facility. Our town's is okay. Not nearly as nice as some of those big 6A schools where you see the talent flood to Oklahoma and Oklahoma State just funneling from those high schools.
Is that taxpayers? Did you ever get to the bottom of that? That's all taxpayers?
It's taxpayers, and exactly. You live in these districts because you want to go to these nicer schools, and you are okay with paying the higher taxes because the nicer schools.
You want your kid to play collegiate football.
Yeah. That's why you have some fraudulent going on when you might have an address listed as your home address.
Wow.
That is not your home address.
I pity the gentleman with 3 daughters, and he's got to sit there and eat up all those taxpayer dollars. And, you know, the track and field team is still trying to afford zip-up jackets while the football team – this happens in college programs. This happens in high school programs, too. And the football team is, you know, got the tech jumpsuits and the 7 duffel bags, and they got the 5 new buses and this and that and the other. That's how it goes.
Number 3.
Let's go to college football, one step ahead. You know, had a pretty damn good year last year. How about Arizona State? Who would have seen them winning the conference in college football? Large and due part to the efforts of Kenny Dillingham, their head coach. Well, Kenny Dillingham is using some of his time to focus on the fan experience for Arizona State. We know they got a good college experience. They're leveling up their tailgating atmosphere because they are raising money for a new indoor practice facility that will be used for fan tailgating. Dillingham said, quote, "We want to create the 16th party hole at the Waste Management Open."
You said indoor?
Indoor.
Wow.
By our stadium. That's what he wants going on at Arizona State tailgating for their football games. They want the Waste Management Open atmosphere because right down the road in Phoenix. Do you have a problem with the head coach leading the charge for that aspect of its college football program?
I'll tell you why this is smart. This is smart for a couple of reasons. Number one, and I went to a school like this, at certain schools where athletics isn't necessarily, it doesn't drive the entire school, the social scene drives the school. The social scene, I went to Wisconsin. The Wisconsin social scene can survive without the athletics in Wisconsin. Arizona State is in that department as well. Arizona State is notoriously a giant party school. People are going crazy there. Tempe, Arizona. The whole city is just the social scene. It's sort of, you almost have to incentivize the student body to make the effort to go to games comparatively. Because people in Wisconsin, for the same reason, there's too much to do outside of going to the game. Bars, parties. Less people went to the games. Less people did that. When you add a little party aspect, it incentivizes students, and that's what he's trying to fill it with, students to come to the games. I think this is a genius idea for the situation at hand. Miami has trouble filling that stadium, not only because Coral Gables is far from Hard Rock, but because there's too much to do outside of going to the game. You live in Miami, there's too much of an aspect of, I could go to this bar and watch the game, I could stay here and watch the game, I could go there and watch the game. There's still fans, they don't need to go to the game. That's why they have trouble filling that stadium. It's the same thing with Arizona State.
The surrounding area of Hard Rock Stadium leaves much to be desired.
True.
My friends found this out, and I honestly found this out during the Orange Bowl. Like, yeah, the Orange Bowl is awesome. Like, the events they have on the grounds, the activations, like they have the little combine stuff where you'll get the Pepsi area and you get the free hats.
Yeah, the activation.
That's cool. But that's not every day. And my buddies who are accustomed to a college town and going out.
Where's the bar? You got to go to the pregame bar. None of that.
No, you got to Uber to and fro from 45 minutes away to actually get to the game if you want to have fun before the game, especially if you fly down here. Sure, you can bring the tailgate, and then you have a good time. But you can't fly into town, create a tailgate that's worth a damn, and then bring it to Hard Rock. No. So, yeah. You got to bring the party to the football at Arizona State.
Tuscaloosa, there's so many kids there, but Tuscaloosa's not developed enough where there's enough to do outside of going to that stadium to watch the game. Clemson's the same way. I've been to that Clemson. Clemson's got one road with like 2 or 3 bars, and then they got the campus, which is a great campus, and then they got the stadium. You got no other choice but to go to the game because that's the main social event. That's not the main social event at Arizona. That's not the main social event I noticed at Wisconsin. A lot of schools deal with that. Tulane, Miami. To incentivize what Kenny Dillingham is doing in terms of making a waste management-esque pregame spot for Arizona State games, it's an easier way to get students in the building, and that is all you need.
That would be awesome. Like, I don't shy away from the heat as much as some people do. I shy away from the cold.
Indoors, too.
If my alma mater, Penn State, had an indoor tailgate, that changes everything.
I would go to that. If I was an Arizona State student, I would have no doubt would go to that.
Dude, at that playoff game that Penn State hosted in the middle of December, it was so cold. No one wanted to tailgate. We're freezing our butts off.
Right.
Like, let's just get into the building, get business done by watching, and get out of there at the beginning of the fourth quarter because it was a blowout. You don't want to spend more time outside than you have to when the calendar turns to late November, early December. Indoor tailgating gets a big thumbs up from me over here.
Number 4.
You ever make a big mistake, Colin, where you wish you just had a do-over? You wish you just had a mulligan in life? Well, Titans general manager John Robinson admits he would like a do-over on the A.J. Brown draft day trade. You go back to the 2022 NFL draft that included a first-round pick they used to select wide receiver Treylon Burks, who has not panned out, and A.J. Brown is going to multiple Super Bowls and winning one of them with the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you like a general manager kind of just admitting full stop, yeah, we messed that one up, I'd like to have it back, especially when the evidence is so far in the favor of a mistake in the front office? Or do you gotta have a little bit of pride and say, listen, it made sense when we had it, And just because the result didn't pan out, the process was probably right. Where do you fall on that, on the GM of the Titans admitting that it was wrong?
Even the way you said it, hey, we thought this was right at the time. The process didn't work out. That's almost taking accountability and blame as well. I do like the idea of them being honest, whether he was asked this or gave this information unprompted. You don't want to say outwardly, hey, Traylon Burks stinks. But to the same token, you want to make it clear that you have an understanding of the fans' perception of the team. I've dealt with general managers. I know the Ravens don't necessarily have the influx. They've had DeCosta is his name for a long time. But the Jags have had, 7 general managers. And when they don't answer for their crimes and they don't talk about what they did wrong and they just try to let it vaporize, that creates a disconnect between the fans and the front office. I'm not saying the front office needs to be on a first-name basis with the fans and the media, but when they acknowledge stuff like that, it humanizes them a little bit. It gives you a little bit of an understanding that, okay, at least they could see this a similar way that all the fans are seeing it, and they're not completely brain dead. Because I dealt with that with Trent Baalke, the former Jags general manager, for years. Never admitted once when he did something wrong. Never admitted one time that he made the wrong draft pick. And because of that, or made a wrong signing, bad trade, none of that. And it completely disconnected him within the fans. So I actually like the fact that John Robinson's saying, hey, you swing and you miss, and we're getting burned because of that. But the Titans are not a wide receiver away from being great. They were never a wide receiver away from being great. Similar to the Saquon situation, A.J. Brown's in a better situation that capitalizes his abilities like Saquon.
And when you first instincts, when I tell you the worst front office decision in the NFL in the past 5 years, what instantly comes to mind? I'm curious.
Mitch Trubisky, second overall in that draft, comes to mind. That's a really bad one.
Because draft, free agency, trade, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking Deshaun Watson,
Deshaun
right?
Watson comes into mind, and the draft pick, Mitch Trubisky pops to mind. And signing and trade, Deshaun Watson, yes.
Because, with the Cleveland Browns and that being a very poor decision made by either their owner or their GM, who's to say? They might deny that it was a GM decision. They might deny that it was an owner's decision. Whatever. I would respect if they said we would do it again. Because you take Deshaun Watson, the player, at the price they got him, I think 9 times or 10 times out of 10. That was a fantastic. He was a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, and you could just acquire him if you ponied up the money.
Yeah, you'd give him a different contract, but you'd do it again. You'd go get him again.
Yeah, like the guarantee, sure. But, of course, the personal stuff gets released, and it gets even worse after the contract was actually in effect. But I think that the results-oriented versus process-oriented is very important for fans and football enjoyers to really understand that just because a move didn't turn out well doesn't mean it was a bad move. I think they're two different things.
Josh Rosen ahead of Lamar Jackson was something. That was a bad one.
Yes, and Josh Rosen kind of carried that draft as if he had the chip on the shoulder.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to make them all pay. I'll make them all. I remember that draft very well. I'm going to make you all pay. Oh, God. That blew up.
Number 5.
Let's go to the box office. The movies are hot these days, Colin. You are hot on it, man.
Summer theaters. This is the great time of the year because you got baseball on during the day. You go see a movie at night.
So here is one of the better movies in the past 20 years, The Social Network. Well, honestly, I didn't know they were making a sequel, but they are. Aaron Sorkin is making The Social Network 2. Of course, that is a movie about Facebook. Has Andrew Garfield, has Jesse Eisenberg.
Excellent movie.
But the sequel will not have Mark Zuckerberg, a.k.a. Jesse Eisenberg. He's not going to return to reprise his role as Zuckerberg in Aaron Sorkin's The Social Network 2. Colin, what gives?
So, based on what I saw, sounds like Eisenberg didn't want to do it. David Fincher is the guy who directed the first one. That first one was one of my favorite movies ever.
Good dialogue, man.
The dialogue. It's
when he takes that keyboard and slams down and that Garfield
explosion
performance. Yeah. Oh, come on.
Well, I think that's one of the most enticing about a creation of an app. I really think it's one of the better movies I've seen in a long time. It's one of my favorites ever. Don't touch it. It's great.
You don't want a sequel.
I don't need about what? About like Facebook files and stuff like that. That's what I've read. About 2021, about a bunch of reporters and stuff like that. No.
Where Zuckerberg took a weird sip of his water. That's what I'm thinking of right now when he was getting tried for being a bad guy.
Now, the Social Network is intriguing because it's a background story mixed in with like a courtroom drama, and it worked because you're getting a ton of information. I don't know what they would do again. So yes, Jesse Eisenberg's walking away. You don't have the director coming back. You don't have the main character coming back. I don't know why you'd make this movie. I don't know why you would make this movie just because the writer wants to make the movie. I wouldn't touch it. There's no way it's going to live up to the hype. There's just zero chance. It's Quentin Tarantino's favorite movie of this century, I believe.
Really?
Yep. And Quentin Tarantino knows movies. But I don't know why you'd make this movie. I am not going to be into that. Weirdly enough. And they're going to get big actors for it because it's a big-time movie. It's one of those stupid legacy sequels that doesn't need one.
So that movie's going to come out eventually, but movies are coming out right now. You said to me during the break a fascinating topic that we'll get into. You want to do a triple header at a movie theater?
I think I'm going to do a triple header. That's crazy.
So 3 movies, 1 day. Are you going to leave the premises of the movie theater, or are you just going to ride it out?
The most I've ever done is a doubleheader. Have you done a doubleheader?
I did Barbenheimer.
So you did back-to-back. So you've done a doubleheader as well.
I paid for one of them and then snuck into Barbie.
That's a doubleheader. So I have a movie subscription. So I paid, I think it's $20 a month, and I get unlimited movies. But you almost got to get your money's worth. I've had a bad July. I've been bouncing around. I've had a bad July.
It's funny. I've had a bad July. Does not indicate that you got to go to Peru and you went to the Jersey Shore.
Right, no, I
went home.
I had a great month. I had a bad, with my movie subscription, I had a bad month. I had a bad July. And I need to sort of get my money's worth. And there's a lot of stuff I want to go see. So I'm thinking I do a triple header.
What are these movies?
So there's a number of things I need to see. Number one, I need to see the Fantastic Four movie. I have not seen that yet. I'd like to see the How to Train Your Dragon movie. That has not come out yet. Or that did come out. I don't need to see the Jurassic World movie. I'm not a dinosaur guy. Some people love that stuff. It doesn't do anything for me. The Naked Gun. You ever see The Naked Gun, the original with Leslie Nielsen?
I think
OJ?
it was on the TV of my childhood barber, so I've seen bits and pieces of it.
You watch a lot of movies at your childhood. A couple, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Rocky movies all at the barber and Naked Gun all at the barber.
Naked Gun is an outstanding comedy. It's like it defined that decade.
Who's that lead actor with the white hair? Leslie
Nielsen, who's in Airplane. He's in a ton of great comedies. He's been in a bunch of those spoof movies. He was one of the great comedy actors of all time. They remade the movie, and apparently Liam Neeson's the starring character. Apparently, it's great. Everybody has said it's great, and I think when was the last great comedy that's really come out? Rare. I can't even think of one.
Universally beloved, which it's actually a paradox in 2025. Nothing can be. Everyone agrees we love this. Everything has its haters. In terms of a comedy,
I don't remember any recent ones recent great ones that are not straight to streaming, that are not,
There was the, who's the Hunger Games girl? Jennifer Lawrence?
Yes, No Hard Feelings?
Yes, that was a good movie. I had some laughs. I didn't fall in love with it. I didn't beloved it whatsoever. But that was a pretty big comedy movie that came out.
Right. And the type of comedy I'm talking about is not like a children's movie comedy, but like, an audience that
or a hard R?
I don't even know if Naked Gun is rated R, but just something like that. PG-13, a little adult-ish. I don't remember the last great, funny movie that I saw in theaters. I really don't. I'm going through all the movies I've seen. It's been a while. And apparently, this Naked Gun remake is laugh out loud funny. So I'm going to have to go see this.
Okay.
And I'm curious about that. And it's a great original because it's just one of the great. That and Airplane. Have you seen Airplane? Airplane's a classic comedy, 1980.
No, I never watched it beginning to end.
Another outstanding, hilarious movie.
How about Game Night? Let's go Jason Bateman.
That's a good one. Where did that come out 5-6 years ago?
That was 2018.
Yeah, so that's actually a very funny movie.
But it obviously made no money at the box office, but there'll be 3-minute clips on Twitter that go viral, or I assume that'll be on TikTok too, that go viral because Jesse Plemons is hilarious in it.
Great.
How could that be profitable for Frito-Lay? That is one of my favorite deliveries of a comedic line in the history of cinema, if you ask me.
Right. there's good action movies that have comedy, but strict comedies, few and far between. They don't make a lot of money nowadays.
Oh, you know what? Deadpool would probably be the
Yeah,
closest.
it's an action movie that has comedy.
That's a comedy movie that has action, if you ask me.
Okay.
I think that's the exception.
I can listen to that. I can listen to that. Fair enough. You know what this is going to cause? If the Naked Gun makes a boatload of money and really blows up and takes off, there's going to be a ton of those legacy remade sequels. Just wait on it. There's going to be a new Airplane. There's going to be a new Superbad. There's going to be new all of those.
Is John Candy alive?
No.
Dang it.
There's probably going to be a new Home Alone. Just be ready for it. All right? I'm warning you right now.
He died in 94?
Yeah,
oh, my
John Candy's been dead
gosh.
for 30 years. Wow, how about that?
He was 44 when he died.
Yeah, he died young. Heart attack, I believe? I could be wrong. But, yeah.
That sucks. He died in Mexico. Yeah, heart attack.
There it is, yeah. So, comedies might make a resurgence. Horror's made a resurgence, but comedies made a resurgence. On top of that, so I'm thinking about doing the triple header. Either Fantastic Four, the How to Train Your Dragon movie, Naked Gun I'm going to finish with. You got to that's going to be the third movie. And then I'm thinking maybe a horror movie. There's a Dave Franco one that just came out that's apparently pretty good that I might go see. And I like horror movies. So
Dave Franco's in it or he made it?
He's in it.
I haven't seen it. What's this called?
Together, I want to say. Together, maybe. Together, I don't know. There might be two words, but I think it's something with together.
Okay.
But apparently it's pretty good. So I got a lot to watch. I'm behind in my schedule. And I like watching most things that come out. So triple header, is that crazy?
Triple header, I feel like you'd run out of gas.
Yeah, I know. I need food. And I don't like getting food at a movie theater.
Like not even popcorn. I feel like for three movies, you gotta get popcorn once.
You gotta get you need a sandwich.
Right.
You need a meal.
I think you go
2 movies and a
10 a.m. showtime.
Hold on. Sunday Huddle on Sunday, by the way. Kate Chums with Colin Russo, 10 a.m. to 12. So it got to start at 12.
Ooh. It's got to be 2 hours on air, and then you're going to try to do 3 movies after that?
Yeah. That's going to be and I'm going to run before, so it's going to be a long day. But
This feels like it's getting diminishing returns. Wouldn't it be better if you spread these out?
Yeah, maybe I won't like the movie.
Especially this time of year when you don't need to be watching anything after your show that ends at 6 o'clock. There's no game that you are required to watch to do your job the right way. Like, wouldn't you rather just have a good week where you go to the movies every day?
Yeah. I'm so behind.
You're planning this for this weekend?
Yeah.
Go to the Marlins game. See the Yankees.
I could do that. Sunday's probably a day game. I probably wouldn't be able to make Sunday. Actually, no. We can take a look. Maybe I'll do that.
4 o'clock. Oh, no, 1:40. That's perfect. That lines up nice.
That is doable. And Gill's on the mound. Not bad. And what's Saturday look like? Saturday, Marlins, Yankees. Yeah, Perez versus Schittler. Yeah. I don't need to see that. I'd watch Gill.
And Judge is still on the IL.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm going to be seeing, Trent Grisham and Anthony Volpe against the Marlins, who just traded away,
You'll get Anthony Volpe before he's traded away to the Savannah Bananas.
If Sandy's pitching, maybe that'll be it. For the Yankees against the Marlins. Maybe that's the reason to go see it. That's what we'll have to do.
Got 29 more minutes before the trade deadline is up. And in the past 30 minutes, we've had a couple of deals go down the line from Jeff Passan. The Dodgers are a little bit active. Yeah, the Rangers a little bit active. We'll give you those names after the break.
After the break, that's Christian Cat, Colin Russo. Trade deadline 30 minutes away. Triple header at the movie theater. Is that crazy? Have you ever done it before? 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. More trade deadline coming up on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's DQ Grill and Chill's new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard. This limited time treat combines DQ's signature soft serve, dyed blue, of course, along with sugar cookie dough, cake batter flavor, and sprinkles. The Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard is available for a limited time only at DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1, just south of North Lake.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Sun's out, deals on at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Summer is here and so are the flavor-packed deals such as our Yingling beer-battered fish sandwich, chicken salad lettuce wraps, or the combo basket. All for under $14. Craving more? Add 3 bone-in wings to any handheld or entree for just $3.49. Sip on our refreshing peach tea cocktail or grab an ice-cold Michelob Ultra, perfect for patio season. Summer's never tasted this good. Find your nearest location at hurricanewings.com.
Elevate your drive with the new 2026 Range Rover Velar P250S, where sleek design meets powerful performance. Lease it today for just $749 a month for 36 months, with $6,995 due at signing. This is your chance to command the road in signature Range Rover style. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and make sophistication yours. Land Rover, above and beyond.
The St. Lucie Mets are in the home stretch, and you don't want to miss it. August brings 15 home games to Clover Park, packed with fireworks and fan favorites like $2 beer, hot dogs, soda, and popcorn on select nights. It's affordable, family-friendly fun on the Treasure Coast. And in September, playoff baseball comes to Port St. Lucie. Catch the future stars of the big leagues now. Every game is a new memory waiting to happen. Get tickets and more info at stluciemets.com.
Are you one of those people that just can't focus at home? The dog barks, the kids are screaming, and you're thinking, how am I going to get all of this work done? Working from home can be distracting, but Intelligent Office is here to help you focus. They offer quiet and affordable private office and meeting spaces in Palm Beach Gardens to help you get your work done. Call 561-472-8400 or visit intelligentoffice.com to reserve an office today.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
25 minutes to go to the trade deadline, and where all eyes are sitting on Alcantara and the Marlins, and if he is going to be shipped out in the next 25 minutes. They got a meeting with the Yankees this weekend. Alcantara wouldn't even have to travel. Meet you at the stadium, buddy. Go to the away clubhouse.
I would delay my road trip to Chicago to see Sandy Alcantara and in the road Grays for the Yankees pitch against the Marlins.
You're moving your girlfriend to Chicago from West Palm. You would move that.
Sorry, sweetie. We got to see Sandy.
Add a good, 2 hours round trip to the road trip. You just go right from the stadium.
That adds like an hour and a half.
Just go right from the stadium. You got to come back anyway.
So the plan is to leave at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. So now we got to wait. Saturday's at 4 o'clock first pitch.
Yeah, I leave at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Say goodbye to Nashville.
Dang. Run straight through. No hotel room. Nothing. 22 hours straight.
Have you ever done anything like that?
No. I've heard people who have done that.
The most I've done in a day is 15 or 16.
I would do like 12. Yeah, 12 was the most I did when I moved from New York to South Florida. I stopped, I believe, near Darlington Speedway in the Carolinas, and it was a terrifying experience. There was blood splattered on like the seat of the chair in the hotel room.
Oh my God.
I dropped $35 on Hotels.com for this motel room, and this guy was working on his car the entire night. Just you heard the wrenches and you heard the power drill just right outside my hotel
What an
room.
experience, yeah.
All for an internship here in South Florida. Now, this was not for ESPN West Palm. This was for something else that got paid $0 a year because it was COVID. So I was happy to get any opportunity.
Wow.
And I was happy to live in a place where I didn't have to wear a mask. That was nice, too.
888-760-3776. Longest road trip. Let us know. Going to 3 movies in a row on Sunday. 3 movies, I think. Depends. Triple header. Never done it before. I'm kind of intimidated by it, to be honest with you. Winston in West Palm joining Russo and Rizzo now. Winston, what's up? What do you got for us?
I actually spent 12 hours in a movie theater one time.
Whoa!
How many in a row?
I don't even know how many movies it was. When one ended, I was wearing a shirt and a jacket, and I'd go in the bathroom and switch them out.
You bought a change of clothes?
Oh my gosh! Freshened up.
You were living in the movie theater, my friend. You brought a change of clothes?
Well, I was a long-distance truck driver, and I had to lay over at times.
Oh.
So I would make it count when I went to the movies.
And Winston, what'd you do with the food situation? Do you leave, get some food, bring it back in?
I would just go to the counter.
Popcorn.
They didn't really pay attention. And then later on, in the afternoon, it was so crowded, like no one noticed me.
So you only bought one ticket and then just hung out there the entire day?
One ticket and spent 12 hours.
Were you ready to, have you stepped in a movie theater since? I mean, were you done with it at the end or what? I'm curious.
This was like the year 2000. And I used to go to the movies all the time, but I haven't been to the movies in over a year. The last movie I saw was that Alien Romulus last August.
Yeah, okay, sure. Wow. How about that? Good call, Winston. A big movie, 12 hours in a theater, and he doesn't even know how many movies he watched.
How many or what they were or anything. Would you do a movie theater marathon for like a series?
I would do that for a challenge. I'd do it for a challenge.
Like watch all of the extended versions of the Lord of the Rings.
I have to sit there and finish all the Marvel movies. 30 movies.
All right.
I can't leave the theater until it's done.
That turns into the Dave Franco movie, right? Where he's got to cut his arm off because he's trapped in the boulder.
As James Franco, it's 127 hours. Yeah, good movie.
Yeah, that turns into like kind of a hard to watch at the end there. Like, do you even care about Avengers Endgame?
I would never watch those movies ever again once I was done with that experience.
I think Harry Potter marathon would be fun. You ever see Yes Man with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
They did that like at someone's apartment, and it was a great gag. Very funny movie. And they trapped them for a watch along of all the Harry Potter movies. I think the way to do it is the extended version Lord of the Rings. That's the perfect amount of time to consider it a marathon, but do manageable.
That's still 9 hours. That's a long day.
Right, but it's a marathon. It's still an accomplishment that you did it, and you probably, although do you kind of not appreciate the movies because our attention spans are so short these days that you almost get too much Lord of the Rings, so you don't like it as much? Whereas if you watch one Lord of the Rings tonight, another tomorrow, another the following day, that's how I watched them for the first time.
Wow. Okay.
Not much to do in Oklahoma, especially in the summer, so I just decided to go through all of these iconic trilogies, series, and watch them when I got home from my job.
How about this? Appreciate Brad for letting us know. Will Wagner, who the Padres traded for about 25 minutes ago, Billy Wagner's son.
How about that? So
He doesn't want to be Billy. He doesn't want to be Billy Jr. Must be Will.
Billy Jr. would be cool, though.
No.
He just goes by Billy Jr.?
No, I don't like that. It's a little childish. But Billy Wagner's son, Will Wagner, just traded to the San Diego Padres as they load up on front-loaded talent as they aim at a World Series. They are all in. I don't think there's a more all-in team. You think the Dodgers are all in? No. The A.J. Preller and the Padres are thinking the Dodgers are bleeding a bit this year. They don't have the pitching. They're not. Mookie Betts is not having a great year. Shohei Ohtani's having a great year, but you don't know what's going on with the pitching. They see blood, and they're going after it. The Phillies, not a great bullpen. They see, if I'm the Padres here, I can't believe this is the story of the show. The Padres are looking at the rest of the National League and thinking flood. They're thinking that the New York Mets have been up and down, and you don't trust their pitching maybe in a big spot. You look at Philadelphia, who's a good postseason team with great front-end pitching, but with terrible bullpens. They look at Milwaukee, and Milwaukee's more of the same despite being 20 games over 500. Milwaukee is the Seattle Mariners of the group, where they could get there, but they never win a big game. And then Chicago, in the same sense, is flawed. Not a lot of pitching, great offense. And then the Dodgers and then the Padres. They see, let's go all in, because I don't know if the Dodgers are going to be as dominant as they were last year. How about that? Trade deadline about 17 minutes away in Major League Baseball. What do you got for us?
Got to pay off who we teased before going to the break. Just a couple of moves. Rangers acquiring right-hander Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, the D-backs are really out. I wonder if Zach Gallen moves now because they moved Merrill Kelly and they moved Eugenio Suarez, and I wonder if they're going to shift to Zach Gallen now.
And then the Dodgers, they acquired outfielder Alex Call from the Washington Nationals. Got to be honest, don't know who that is.
Minnesota Twins, big sell day, fire sale. They traded to the Chicago Cubs, of all places, Willie Castro. Utility man, play anywhere on the field, to the Chicago Cubs. Minnesota Twins have traded Correa. They've traded Duran. They've traded absolutely everybody on their team. Talk about a fire sale. They are out. See ya. Done with. Acquire prospects and move on with our lives. As some teams are in, the Twins are out. How about that?
Wake up, Ryan Cashman. We want Sandy.
The Pirates and the Twins are big notable sellers of this deadline. A little bit of the Nationals as well. And as for the buyers, nobody's better than the Padres. And nobody's more of a bombshell than the Padres. And then the Mets, who probably did it the most savvy way. And we'll see what happens in the next 15 minutes with the Yankees. Christian Cat, Colin Russo will close out the program next as we continue onward here, send you off into trade deadline finishing period. Last 10 minutes. Hopefully something happens here in the last 10 or 12 minutes.
You know, our out time, for those that are not in the biz, the out time is when, well, your mics turn off. Whether you like it or not, your show's over and the commercials begin and we go into the next show. Our out time is 55:50. That is 5:55:50. You know damn well there is going to be something massive that drops in the trade deadline at 57. Just out of luck, it'll be right after these mics turn off. So hopefully we get lucky and can deliver you a massive trade on the other end of this break. Maybe, just maybe.
Maybe. Kansas City Royals acquire a left-handed reliever, Bailey Falter, from the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Is that worth a passing tweet? Is he? Have you ever heard of him before?
That's a passing tweet.
I'm saying, is it worth a passing tweet?
I've heard the name. I don't know much about him.
Okay, because I feel like Passon's kind of scratching and clawing for stuff that is as newsworthy as possible. This is his day. The newsbreaker in baseball does not get bigger than.
And he's a starter. He's not a reliever. So there's a mistake. Clearly, I know much I've heard of him. But Christian Cat, Colin Russo closed out the program on a trade deadline edition of Russo and Rizzo next at ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Tonight, the Hall of Fame game kicks off the NFL preseason. It barely matters, but it totally matters. Pads are on, emotions are high, starters not included. Catch the glorious return of football. Coverage starts at 8 on ESPN 106.3.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet, home of Inter Miami, Miami Heat, and the Miami Dolphins. Catch all the action and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling, call 1-888-ADMITTED.
It's the summer sales event with the Ford Groom.
Sam, 30 seconds on the clock. The Ford Summer Sales Event.
Great time to buy.
Correct. What do we have amazing deals on this summer?
Ford trucks and SUVs.
Is Ford America's all-time best-selling auto brand?
Let me think. Yeah, it is.
3 for 3.
What do I win?
You get to work at the Ford Summer Sales Event.
Amazing. I think I was going to do that anyway.
You betcha.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
Every Thursday is a Thirsty Thursday at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. Membership is just $100, and all fans 21 and up get a ticket to every Thursday game and a drink koozie, which unlocks weekly drink specials. Learn more at RogerDeanChevroletStadium.com.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
You know, it's funny. You had some of these players sort of come to the point of trying to take a discount. New York Knicks. I can't believe NBA news coming out right now, but Shams Charania recently saying that New York Knicks forward Mikal Bridges, they've agreed to a 4-year, $150 million contract extension with the franchise. It was a player option for the final year, and that is what we got there from Shams. There's your NBA update.
Well, I mean, you trade how many 7 first-round picks for him?
The max contract for him would have been $156. Brunson took the biggest pay cut of them all, and we got this guy eating up all the cap. What are we doing, Bridges? I don't know. I think that's a little much. Boston Red Sox, according to Jeff Passan, a minute to go. They're acquiring right-hander Dustin May from the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Man, he started his career off with a bang. Has he, lived up to that? I remember his rookie year.
Surgery. Tommy John.
Hey, there's
derailed his whole career.
Redhead celebrity, Dustin May.
That's a good one right there.
Call back to 2 hours ago.
That's it. The Boca Raton Bowl, the 2025 Boca Raton Bowl, it's coming back for its 12th year. Tuesday, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at FAU Stadium. Mark your calendars. The game is going to air on ESPN. It's going to have 2 of the biggest and best teams from the group of 5. They're going to battle it out for their chance at the title. More information can be found at BocaRatonBowl.com. Follow along on Twitter at Boca Bowl and Facebook.com/Boca Bowl for more updates today. The 2025 Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd at FAU Stadium. Dustin May to the Boston Red Sox. The return on that remains to be seen. Nobody knows. What did they get back? Because the Dodgers are devoid of pitching at the moment, and they traded the pitcher to the Boston Red Sox. So what did they get back? I wonder if Zach Gallen's going to be on the move here momentarily with about 9-10 minutes to go until the trade deadline is up. But the Los Angeles Dodgers getting rid of an arm is an interesting move to say the least. Maybe that means Blake Snell is going to ramp up here pretty soon or what that means. But injuries galore for the Los Angeles Dodgers on the arms. But Boston Red Sox getting Dustin May.
You know, trade deadline has me thinking we should go back to bartering as a society. There's not enough trading between citizens in day-to-day life.
It shouldn't just be cash. It shouldn't just be transactional in that regard. I should come in and be able to bring in, jeans and something I grew in the backyard and trade it for a CD player or something like that, or like a Blu-ray.
It's still alive and well, like on the Craigslist community. It's thriving. People still trade on Craigslist. Like I have 3 tires. One is a little bit worn down than the others. I'm looking for
a bicycle.
Or looking for cattle. Does anyone have a horse? I will take a horse.
Livestock.
Yes.
I'm trying to fill my farm. You can take my tires.
I have tires, and I have a gas cap, and I have a lot of rubber and copper wire that I swear I did not steal. I just have copper wire, and a lot of it. And I'm looking to trade this copper wire for some livestock. Maybe a horse's.
You know what? Have you ever traded for anything in your life?
I did just trade in my car, like for another car. Like that's the
where trading. That's where trading is alive and well. Trading in a car.
Ooh, I was so happy they took my just crap can of a car. And that thing, that's going to go to auction. I know this when you trade into a dealership and you have a bad car that's old. It's got so many problems. Every single light on the dashboard of my old car was lit. Did not have AC. where I was just happy to get it off my hands, that I didn't do the paperwork to try to sell it to the people that buy cars, like 1877 cars.
For kids. Yep.
Right, yeah. Is that a Northeast thing, or is that like a worldwide thing?
I want to say Northeast, but I could be wrong.
The Yankees have made a move.
What do you got for
Yankees
us?
have made a move, and for our transplant New Yorkers, fire up the bagels and pizza.
Breaking news on ESPN 1063 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. If your vehicle has issues with braking or other issues, get it fixed right now at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
The New York Yankees, according to Jeff Passan, are acquiring shortstop Jose Caballero from the Tampa Bay Rays. Sources tell ESPN. Interdivision trade. Yankees, I believe, are in a rain delay right now with the Tampa Bay Rays. Wait a second.
Yeah, wait, hold on. So we're in the middle of the game on a rain delay, and he said change jerseys, go over to the other clubhouse?
Middle of the 7th. They were in a delay, and I guess during that rain delay, front offices got together, broke some bread, and are trading shortstop Caballeros to the Rays.
I wonder what that means for Anthony Volpe. So keep that in mind. He is a shortstop.
Yes, he is.
So
not a very good one defensively at that.
I wonder if this is to light a fire under Anthony Volpe, or if this is just to provide some insurance in the infield, because they did just get rid of Oswaldo Peraza, and they sent him to the Los Angeles Angels about 20 minutes ago, according to Bob Nightingale. So there's another Yankee update. They traded Oswaldo Peraza to the Angels.
Caballero's good?
Caballero is a good base, yes.
Okay, I feel like I knew that name, and I don't know many names.
He's a great runner. He's fast. That's what he
Okay.
is. He's a good glove, and he's fast.
Hey, pinch ran today. He played in today's game for the Rays as a pinch hitter, actually.
Caballero will be pulled from Yankees Rays. You only have to walk from the third base side to the first base side to meet his new team. Hey, guys. I just stole a bag in the second inning. I need a jersey.
And those teams don't like each other. I know it's division, whatever, blah, but as of late, in the past maybe 5 to 7 years, that Rays-Yankees rivalry kind of heated up a little bit because of a lot of jealousy when it comes to victories.
Right.
From the Yankees to the Rays, and then Rays jealousy because of they can't outspend the Yankees. But Caballero, hating the Yankees' entire tenure as a Ray, is now donning the pinstripes.
Wow.
Nuts.
Craig Mish of Newswire 12 to 130 down in Florida on FanDuel Sports Network says that Miami Marlins will not be trading Sandy Alcantara today.
There you have it.
He'll once again be the ace down the stretch. They keep pushing their season, developing for the future. Sandy's back. He's not going anywhere. Couldn't get anything done with the Yankees. Yankees made moves elsewhere, though. They got plenty of arms. A packed trade deadline, couple blockbusters, couple small ones, a lot of change, a lot of the usual buyers. Surprise, surprise. I said how much I hated the deadline yesterday, and we did it for about 4 hours today. That's sports radio for you. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Appreciate having everybody aboard. We'll be back at it tomorrow once again, 4 to 6 p.m. right here on Russo and Rizzo. And if you missed any of it, go listen to Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just go to Russo and Rizzo. Big thanks to Christian for keeping us up over the air. From the City Play Studios, we say so long. Back at it tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063. It's time to gear up for the summer months because hurricane season and the summer temperatures in South Florida have both officially arrived. You got to ensure that your home stays cool during these summer